Are we witnessing the end of an era for the Vancouver Canucks? With trade rumors swirling around a key player who's been a cornerstone of this franchise, fans are left wondering what the future holds. As we dive into the latest buzz, it's clear the organization may be facing tough decisions that could reshape our beloved team. Stick around as we unpack the implications of this potential move, and make sure to subscribe and like this video to stay in the loop with all things Canucks. Brock Boeser's future with the Vancouver Canucks is becoming a major talking point among fans and analysts alike. With the NHL trade deadline looming, there's a palpable tension surrounding the team, and many of us are left wondering if Boeser's time in Vancouver is coming to an end. The 27-year-old winger, who has been with the Canucks longer than anyone else on the roster, has expressed his desire to stay. But let's be real, he knows he could be the easy trade option for the organization. His production this season has been less than stellar, sitting at just 15 goals in 37 games. In a contract year, that's tough to swallow. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in a situation where they can score and thrive without the drama that seems to envelop this team? It's not just about winning for him. It's also about boosting his value as he heads into free agency. General manager Patrick Alvin hasn't made significant moves on contract negotiations, which adds to the uncertainty. As fans, we can't help but feel a bit anxious about this. Is this the end of an era for Boeser? Do we really want to see him dressed in another jersey? Honestly, I'm torn here. And it's not just Boeser. There's chatter about Elias Pettersson and JT Miller as well. Pettersson has been linked to the Blue Jackets and Blackhawks, but nothing seems imminent. Meanwhile, Miller is causing some frustration within the organization. Some insiders suggest he might be open to a trade, especially if it means the Canucks could get something valuable in return. It's a tough spot for us as fans, watching our favorite players potentially leaving the team. There's a mix of hope and dread, and it makes for a tumultuous time in Canucks land. Switching gears to the Edmonton Oilers, they just signed John Klingberg to a one-year deal worth $135 million. That's a calculated risk for them, but it raises questions about whether they're done making moves. Klingberg might not be the gritty defender they need, and if he doesn't perform, they'll likely be scrambling for another blue liner before the deadline. What does this mean for us? Well, it suggests that the Oilers are aware Evander Kane won't be back this season, which could shake things up in the Pacific Division. Now, let's talk about the New Jersey Devils. General manager Tom Fitzgerald has openly admitted he's on the hunt for a center to give his team some extra oomph. Names like Yanni Gourde and Brock Nelson have been tossed around, and there's even talk about a big swing for JT Miller. It's clear that teams are eyeing our roster, and that adds another layer of anxiety for us fans. Would we be willing to part with a player like Simon Nemec if it meant bringing in someone who could elevate the team? It's a tough question, but one we might need to consider if we want to make a serious run. As we navigate through this drama, I can't help but wonder, are these the decisions that will lead us to a brighter future? Or are we setting ourselves up for more heartbreak? It's a delicate balance. The Canucks have a lot of potential, but potential doesn't always equate to success. As passionate fans, we just want to see our team thrive, and every trade rumor sends us into a frenzied debate about the right path forward. And honestly, it's hard not to feel torn about the situation. He mentioned that he hasn't played to his best this year, and with the trade deadline looming, he's aware that he could be the easy trade for the team. I mean, who can blame him? The Canucks have been mired in drama, and the prospect of a trade could be the fresh start he needs. As he said, "I don't want it to end like this." But with the team's current trajectory, is it really the best path for him? Let's break this down. Boeser is a pending UFA, and that puts him in a precarious position. With 15 goals in 37 games, he's on pace for 33 goals this season. Solid numbers, sure, but far from the 40-goal mark he hit last year. You have to wonder, can he maximize his earnings if he stays in Vancouver? If he gets traded to a playoff contender, the potential for him to shine and secure a hefty contract increases dramatically. It's a risk-reward scenario where staying might not be in his best interest. Now, the Canucks have a chance to move Boeser without too much fuss. They'd likely prefer to trade him over Elias Pettersson or JT Miller because of his rental status. It's a calculated move that could benefit both the team and Boeser. He could find himself in a situation where He can perform under less pressure and perhaps even help a new team make a deep playoff run. Can you imagine the boost that would give his market value? But here's where it gets complicated. Boeser clearly has love for the Canucks and wants to see them succeed. He acknowledges that they're just a point out of the wild card spot. That's a glimmer of hope in a season that feels increasingly bleak. "If we right this ship and start winning some games, we're right there," he said. It's a sentiment that resonates with fans who desperately want to believe in a turnaround. Yet, the reality is that the chemistry and camaraderie seem to be lacking, especially between key players like Miller and Pettersson. If they can't find a way to come together, is Boeser really better off sticking around? From my perspective, as a passionate fan, I can't help but feel conflicted. On one hand, Boeser deserves to be in a situation where he can thrive, especially as he approaches free agency. On the other hand, I want to see him succeed in a Canucks jersey. It's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that a trade might be the best outcome for all parties involved. And let's face it, Canucks management has a tough job ahead. They've got to assess the situation wisely. Do they hold on to Boeser in hopes of a miraculous turnaround, or do they make the move now while the market is favorable? Honestly, I'm torn. Do you think this was the best decision? I want to hear your thoughts down below. In the end, it seems like a trade could benefit Boeser and potentially the Canucks, but it's a decision that carries weight. If he moves on, he's got the chance to prove his worth elsewhere. And if he stays, there's a lingering hope that this team can turn things around. Will the Canucks sort out their drama by next year? Or will Boeser find himself in a position where he has to distance himself from the chaos? I can't wait to hear what you all think about this situation. Are you in favor of trading Boeser, or do you believe he should stick it out with the Canucks? Join the debate in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for all the latest updates. And remember to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news about our beloved Canucks.